If there's one thing that sucks in Perth, WA right now, that's trying to buy a house. So today, we're going to run through some tips to help those out there struggling to find their next home. Hi, welcome to the channel. My name is Jeremy Shirazi and I'm your friend in the Perth property business. And if you joined us last week, you'll know that we gave you some tips, or gave sellers some tips when it comes to selling property in a hot market. And this week I decided that I wanted to try and help buyers buy in a hot market. Now this video is a lot harder because, even with the tips I'm going to give you, buying a house in Perth right now sucks. I've not barely met anyone that's having a great experience, and it's been really challenging for a lot of people out there. And there's a lot of stress and emotion involved as well, because it comes down to housing, and a lot of people need a place to live. They're not just moving out of want. It's a necessity. So there's a lot of stress packed behind that, and a lot of people that are really struggling financially and emotionally, and housingly, is that a thing? To put a roof over their heads. So today I want to kind of give you some tips, but to be honest, this was a really hard one to put together, because in a low market and all those kind of things, there's lots of tips you can give to buyers. But when things are so competitive, trying to give you a competitive edge to get ahead and buy your next property, it's a pretty tough one. But I'm going to cover off on some things today which will hopefully help you get ahead if you are looking to buy, or you can share this with someone else that you know that is trying to buy, because the chances are we all know someone in the Perth property market right now that's looking around or struggling. So I'm going to cover off on a couple of oh my god, I'm tongue twisted today. Cover off on a few things which will hopefully get you ahead, and I'm going to put those in kind of bullet point form. But basically, number one is your finances, and obviously it's your finances. A lot of people are going out there looking at the moment, but they're not 100% sure of where they stand, and therefore they lack the confidence to move quickly on things. So number one is you want to have your pre-approval in place, or have a broker that's vouched for you to say, yep, go out and purchase. We've looked through your finances, we've aired everything out, you're good to go. So you want to have that financial backing behind you, and you want to have something that you can share with an agent when you're trying to show how secure and safe your offer is. So whether it be a pre-approval letter, whether it be an email from your broker directly to the agent to say that they've looked through your finances and they're confident with your finances. And obviously, if you've got any other financial things that need to fall into line, getting those things sorted early is going to help you massively. If you're trying to go subject to sale and buy something at the moment, you're not even engaged your agent or gotten started on that, and you're trying to go out there and put offers on property, you've already, the chances of you succeeding is extremely low. So if you're doing subject to sale, get your agent involved early, get your property ready. But if you can, try and avoid that altogether and go in with a cash or finance offer. Now, obviously there's bridging and things, but look, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't take any of this as financial advice, but speak to someone that you trust in finance, that you know has your best interests at heart, and let them guide you on the way to get ahead and have the best or the strongest financial position possible when you go to make that offer. The other thing is knowing your budget. So what's the ideal amount, what's the manageable amount, and what's your maximum? Now, obviously, we all want to try and purchase within our ideal amount. That's comfortable and allows you to live the lifestyle that you want to continue. The other one is manageable. So if you're pushed a little bit, what can you manage? What repayments are manageable that are still workable and don't put you under much stress? And then obviously there's your maximum price. What's the maximum number for the right home under the right circumstances that you'd be willing to make sacrifices for, from a lifestyle perspective, to secure that property? So have those numbers worked out already. Start your shopping in your ideal range. Don't start shopping in your maximum range, because at the moment we're noticing prices are jumping 5-10% from where you're seeing the listing or where the initial price guides are. So there's no point starting at your max and then being priced out and losing the property. You're better off starting in your ideal range, or even a touch below it, and then you end up probably working up to your manageable or your maximum range. Now, that's going to be different for every person, but again, speak to someone in finance that you trust to help guide you through that process. The other thing is speed. So some people get pre-approvals on a very basic level, and some people go through pretty much the full approval process to basically go through all their financials, their statements, their outgoings, any liabilities that they have, and then their broker ticks off and goes, yep, you're good to go. I don't know the technical term for it, I forget it, but basically you want the second. You don't want the surface pre-approval. Oh, hey Voddy, that's Voddy everyone, we're our dog sitting at the moment. So you want to basically have your finances set up for speed, so you can move super quick and basically where was I going with that? The dog completely distracted me. So yeah, having your finances ready, being able to move with speed. So some of buyers that I've met have been able to secure, a finance approval in 7 to 14 days because they've got everything sorted, everything lined up, they're ready to go. All they need is a contract of sale to give to their broker and they get going. Other people that I meet have got a pre-approval, but they still need to go through a lot of the steps. So they're going to take somewhere between 21 to 28 days. So guys, if you can, try and get your finances lined up nice and quick. Get your budget sorted and have your broker or your pre-approval letter with you when you go in to make that offer. I'm going to let the dog out quickly. 2 secs. Again, speaking about speed, point 2 is speed. So you want to move as quickly as you can. At the moment, the market doesn't really wait for anyone. Our personal campaigns, my team and I, we try to have our campaigns run for around 2 weeks or so. So that way, everyone gets a chance to see the property and make an offer. But a lot of agents are selling at or before the first home open. So you want to engage with the agent as quickly as possible. So 1, engage with them quickly, inquire, try and get as much information about the property as you can, as early as you can. 2 is attend. So attend the home opens, attend the viewing, try and secure a private viewing before the home open if the agent is going to be open to that. If you're going to ring me, it's probably not going to happen. But honestly, just try it, see if you can get in with the agent. And if you can sneak through, see if you can get an offer in early as well. So again, with your offers, don't, we're going to sit on it for 72 hours and come back to you. The chances are that property is gone. So you want to be in the position where you can engage with the agent quickly. You can go to the viewing or the home open as quickly as possible, and you can make your offer quickly as well. Again, speed will pay off, especially if the offer that you make incentivizes the seller to make an early decision. Now, when it comes to working with agents, again, I said engage with the agent early. You want to... Each agent handles their campaigns differently, especially in WA at the moment. I'm noticing everyone's got their own take on how fast they should move, what their offer platform is, if they're even using an offer platform. If some of them are still using old school pieces of paper to write an expression of interest, and they'll call you back if they feel that your expression of interest is good. I don't know. It's old school. It's weird. But basically, you want to speak to the agent and ask, how do they handle the sale? So what's their process? How would they like to see the sale play out? And if they don't know, well, good luck. It's just a free-for-all. Get in with an offer. The chances you're going to take it off the market. But most agents should have an idea of how they're going to handle things. So, for example, one that we've got coming up, we're going to have a 2-week campaign where we present all offers at the end of the 2 weeks. We're going to have 3 viewings in that time. We're going to allow offers to come in throughout that period, and we'll rank offers near the final stages of that offer implementation or presentation. So at least my buyers know what the journey is and when they'd like to enter, and when they'd like to become competitive as well. So find out how they're going to handle the sale, then find out what the game is, and then play it. So offer early. So get in, make sure that you're considered early, because if they've got other offers coming in and something comes in that incentivizes the sellers to move quickly, if your offer's on the table, in theory, you should get a call to say, hey guys, we've got another offer on the table. Do you want to increase, or are you happy to let it go? At least you've got that kind of first right of refusal. Whereas if you're sitting in the back, you've not given the agent all your details, you've just sat back, given them an email address only, not a phone number, and they can't really contact you, and you're in the too hard basket, you're in the too hard basket. There's a lot of agents out there at the moment where we'll open a house and we'll have 80 groups through the first home open, not including the 100 inquiries we had that week that came in. And we can't comb through every single one. We do our best to, but if you're not being reciprocal or being open to having a conversation, we can't help you. So find out how they want to handle it. Offer early, but when you offer early, max out late. Again, this comes down to how they're playing the game or how they're handling the negotiation process. But again, view it like a game, and it's going to become a lot less stressful. But look at it, put your offer in early, make sure it's a half decent offer, but don't go in hard with your max unless you're willing to gamble to try and take the property off the market. But just make sure that the agent is open, or the seller is open to the idea of taking it off the market early. You don't want to go in at your maximum to then get priced out, or let them use your offer to try and push other offers up. What you want to do is have your offer go in, come in with a reasonable offer, and you'll see other offers come in above you, and then max out late, depending on what information you can get from the agent to help guide you on where your offer is going to go. But we're going to touch on that shortly. The other thing, I guess, as well, my computer's deciding to rev up for some reason. Be awesome. Be an awesome buyer. How can I say this better? Be the buyer that the agent wants to work with and the seller wants to sell to. So what I mean by that is, as an agent, we sometimes have buyers that are just an absolute dream to work with. And, even though we, separate it, emotion and logic and all those things, and present the offers, and we present the ones that are in the owner's best interests, so many times the seller will say to me, Jeremy, this is really tough. Who do you like? And I say, well, all these buyers are great in their own way, blah, blah, blah. But, this specific couple or this specific individual or this family have just been really, really lovely. They seem like lovely people to deal with. And, they've just been great. I'd love to see them get the home. Again, sometimes it comes down to that. The opposite of that is, that guy's a bit of a prick. Like, he's been a real ass to deal with. He's really demanding. He's trying to corner us. He's just been a real dick to work with. And if it comes down to the wire, it could be nice you that gets across the line. So be that buyer they want to work with, and obviously be the person maybe that the sellers can see owning their new home based on what the agent's telling them. The other thing as well is working with the agent. You want to have your dialogue right. So there's an old school kind of dialogue that's kind of happening with buyers, because they're getting frustrated. So they're just going, hey, what's the best price, or what are they asking? Because they're trying to pin down a number that they can then anchor themselves to and work around that, or they're trying to pin the sellers to a number and trying to get a result at that number, or they're just trying to find what's the bottom line. And ultimately, guys, if you're buying at the moment, you aren't going to get a result that way. And if anything, it's frustrating, because the agent's like, well, look, man, the evidence is suggesting it's going to sell for 1.1 million, but okay, I'll give you an offer at 1.1 million. So yeah, but it's probably not going to sell for that, even though the evidence is saying that. So instead of trying to pin the agent or the seller down to a number or where they need to be, asking questions like, what does the seller want? It's like, well, the seller wants as much as possible. Obviously, they have a number in mind, but honestly, the numbers are relevant. Like, the number that the seller wants is completely irrelevant. The seller is not who you're competing against 9 times out of 10 in this market. You are competing against other buyers. So better questions to ask, and some dialogue here is, just ask the agent, are they offering a price guide to help guide buyers in the early stages of the offers? Are they offering a price guide? B would be acknowledging your position with the agent, so they know that the situation and how, I guess, you have an understanding of how things are going to play out. So you might say, dear agent, I know that with the current market, it's not really about what the sellers want, but it's more about how competitive it is and where the offers go. And the agent's probably going to turn around and go, yeah, that's right. And once they say that's right, then okay, then they're engaged with you. They know that you're on a mutual understanding. Then you can kind of take the dialogue from there. So you can say, look, taking into account the current competition or the offers, are we still around that initial price guide, or have we moved on from that? And again, you're not trying to pin them down. You're asking open-ended questions for the agent to kind of come back to you with some useful information. So they might say, no, we have moved on. Okay, so you could say, all right, well, let's say we're using the example of $1.1 million. They've given you a guide. Agent, based on the current competition offers, are we still hovering around the 1.1, or have we kind of moved on? They might say, oh, no, we've definitely moved on. Oh, okay, all right, great. Look, I kind of expected as much. Based on that, would you say we're still playing in the 1.1s, or have we kind of moved to the 1.2s or the 1.3s? And just be very open and vague with your questions, because they can't tell you this is what the other offer is. Otherwise, they've been unfair to the other person. But if you say, look, are we still playing in the 1.1s, or are we playing in the mid 1.2s, or just kind of be open, like use the word playing rather than where are the other offers? Don't ask, what are the other offers? Like straight away, agent's going to back off, shut down, not give you anything. But if you just say, look, guys, are we still playing around that level, or are we playing in the next field? Use dialogue like that to just open it up and have a more free-flowing conversation. And depending on the agent's skill level and things, they might slip and give you more than they bargained to give you, and give you enough crucial information for you to kind of make that next move and give yourself an advantage. So I guess the next follow-up question after that is to say, well, if they say, oh, no, we're probably playing more on the 1.2s now. And you could say, especially at the late stages, and say, I know, to the agent, I know you can't say for sure, but given the competition, do you think the momentum will see us exceed that again? Or do you think we're kind of getting near the top now? Again, you're not saying where is the offer and you're going to counter it. You're just asking them for their opinion. And agents love to give their opinions because they like the sounds of their own voice. So you're probably going to get something back. And with all of that, you've got where the initial price guide is, which is probably where the agent and the seller saw the evidence. You've got where the prices, are going with the offers that are there. And you're also getting the opinion on how much further it's going to go. So use dialogue like that to try and extract more information to help craft your offer. So, the next thing is to take into account with your offer, the seller's situation. So you want to extract as much information from the seller or from the selling agent to help craft your offer in a way that's going to give you an advantage. Now, the old school version of this is trying to find information to put the sellers in a hard position to gain a tactical advantage. And it's not good. We can see it coming from a mile away as agents. And the second you're trying to do that in this current market, we've got someone willing over here that's really great to work with, that's willing to kind of, again, work to where they need to secure the property. And we've got this person over here that's trying to screw us down and trying to find a disadvantage for the seller and all of that. And straight away, it's not a good way to start the negotiation. So you want to, instead of getting information as an Achilles heel or, to try and undercut the seller, like, why are they moving? Are you trying to figure out if it's a divorce? Are you trying to figure out if, they're in a tough position and they need to move quickly? All that kind of stuff. At the moment, more or less, forget it. If you're serious about buying a particular property. If you're just going in and lowballing 100 offers, trying to get a bargain, go for it. Right? If that's your game, that's fine. But most people I'm meeting at the moment need to buy a house. So instead of trying to find information to manipulate, find information instead to accommodate the seller. Okay, so price is one thing, and price, is generally the most important thing. But there's things that you can add to your offers in regards to terms or timeframes and those kinds of things that are going to assist the seller and make life easy for them. Your goal in finding information about the seller is to craft your offer to make it as accommodating and make life as easy as possible for the seller. Because if they feel that your offer is easy or safe, it's going to give them that feeling of security to move forward. And even though they've got 20 offers on the table, and they could probably sell it again tomorrow, the pain and thought of losing momentum and coming back to market, the pain of loss is so high, even for sellers at the moment, that sometimes they'll take a slightly safer offer that's a bit lower because it is safer and easier. So, find out information that's going to help them move. So, instead of saying, when do they need settlement, you could say, what would be the seller's ideal timeline for settlement to help make life easier for them? Are there any conditions that they need, to make life easy? I guess it comes down to time frame a lot. Have they on purchase? Do they need more time for settlement? Just convey that you're flexible, and then convey that flexibility in writing in your offer, or at least in an email to the agent to present with your offer. So put it all together. So if you're not showing that accommodation written in your offer, make sure that the agent knows in writing that it's attached to your offer that you are willing to be flexible to suit the seller rather than just a hard, it's 21 day settlement, as an example. The other thing as well is, don't be afraid to write a letter to the sellers. Especially if you're a family or first time buyer or whoever you are, there's no particular demographic that gets a free kick in this one, but write a heartfelt letter to the sellers. Find out their names from the agent if they'll share it with you, or if they've given you a copy of the title, the names are on the title. And you can say, dear John and Jenny, thank you so much for taking the time to review my offer. I know you've probably got a lot of offers and it's quite stressful. I just wanted to introduce myself and in that, introduce ourselves to Tell them a little bit about you. Tell them what you love about the property in that letter. Like specifically, don't have a generic letter like, hey, we're amazing people, sub story, give us a house. Like, go into detail in that letter and say, you know, we absolutely love the patio that you've done. We can see that you spent the extra money on the insulated panels, and that, you know, we're really going to enjoy entertaining out there with our family and kids. And, you know, look for the little things that they've done and compliment them on what they've done, and you're going to get the heartstrings. And again, it's not so much to manipulate, it's to literally honestly say, this is why we love your house. We would love to buy it, and please consider us if it's close. And then at least you are going to stick in their mind as that person when they've read that letter. And some agents may not present your letter because they don't want to give you a tactical, you know, an advantage as such. But most agents I know, if they say they're going to give the letter, out of honesty, they'd say if they say they did, they'll present it with it. And it's just going to make your offer stand out against the rest, especially if it's close. Because I've seen it get as close as like $1,000, $2,000 in this market when we're over 150 grand higher than what, you know, the original price guide was, because that's what the evidence suggested. So every little thing that you can do to increase the effectiveness of your offer, go for it. The next thing I wanted to chat about would be research. So agents are moving fast, and they're time poor, and their communication sucks right now. And if you've been buying a property in Perth, you can probably see that. So there's a lot more onus on you to gather some information there. So don't rely on the agent for accurate information about what the neighborhood's like. You know, I don't know, all the little things that you would usually ask. Start taking a little bit of that for yourself and do your own research. So when you come to the agent, you're not pestering them with 1,000 questions. You're going, hey, look, we love the neighborhood. We've done our research. Here's our offer. We really want to secure this property. So examples might be when you're going through the property for the first time, don't do a 5-minute walkthrough, walk out and go, oh, what was that? What was that? What was that? I can't remember. Go through. Don't be afraid to take some notes. Open and close things if the agents are okay for you to do that. And just spend time there. I know it's hard, there's people everywhere, but take your time, breathe, relax, forget anyone else is in the room as much as you can, and just take your time looking around at the property and make sure that it's right for you. So when you go to make your offer, you can make it with confidence. You're not holding back going, oh, I'm not sure if it's the right one, or it's, you know, I didn't get to see that third bedroom. I'd really love to see that third bedroom, but there's no more viewings because he's presenting offers tonight. Take that stress out of it. Just take your time looking at the property and make sure it's good for you. When you're looking at neighborhoods, like everyone asks me, says, Jeremy, what's the neighborhood like? And my answer is, honestly, I don't know. You know, it could be 3 streets away from me, and I can say, look, I live up the road. It's fantastic where I live. This street here, I maybe know 2 of the neighbors and they seem lovely, but I don't know everyone else. I can't give you an honest opinion. And living in this particular street, I don't know if there's any things that would turn you off it. Like, for example, you know, there might be a particular guy that loves hooning down that street at 6 a.m. every morning on the way to work, and nobody talks about it. But the agent's certainly not going to tell you, probably because the seller didn't tell the agent because they don't want to give them that information. But my suggestion, knock on a couple of local doors. Like, knock on the neighbor's door all the way up, all the way down, however many you want to do. Say, hey, I'm so-and-so. You've probably seen that number 4 is for sale on the street. I just wanted to get like some honest opinions from the neighbors, like what the area is like. Everyone slams the door in your face, probably a shit place to live. Everyone's really accommodating, gives you their honest opinion. You're probably going to get a more unbiased opinion than from the agent, because other than them wanting their street to succeed and blah, 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 they're probably going to give you a much more honest opinion, especially if you land on a tenant that has no financial interest in the street. They're just there living. They're probably going to give you a pretty straightforward opinion about what the street's like. So that's my suggestion there. In regards to warranties and disclosures, make sure you read your contracts. So, you know, what's covered under the warranty, electrical, gas and plumbing, or is it not? And despite what everyone thinks, that is not a standard clause. You're not entitled to a good working order clause for electrical, gas and plumbing. It's just something that's been inserted by agents over years because it's kind of become the norm. But as things tighten, those kind of conditions will start to get removed because sellers know that they can, because, hey, if you don't buy it, I've got 19 other people that are going to buy it here. So just be wary of what the warranty covers. The disclosures, make sure you read the disclosures and understand them. If the patio is not approved, if you know, they're aware of termite damage in a specific section of the building, they're selling it as is there asbestos, those kind of things. Don't try and negotiate them away because, again, you're going to put yourself at a disadvantage. Embrace those disclosures, understand them, and communicate to the agent. You are aware of all the disclosures, you're aware of the asbestos fence, you're aware of the patio that's not approved, you're aware of the little bit of termite damage in the gate that's there. You're totally cool with it. And that's going to put them at ease because they know that their sales are going to progress more smoothly. And it's also going to put the sellers at ease because they're going, okay, cool, I don't have to stress about trying to fix all this stuff. So communicate that, understand the warranties, the disclosures, what else? Obviously timeframes and those kind of things, and communicate that you understand them and that you're okay with them. And now one of the final points, second last point, and one of the most important is price. Now this is still a bone of contention for a lot of people that live in WA that are trying to buy property. And I'm having the conversation every day with friends, family, co-workers, clients, buyers, sellers, and that is prices, like where should they be? And my team and I are consistently seeing results 5 to 10%, sometimes 15% higher than what the evidence over the last 3 months is suggesting. And I know that sounds like a bit of a long-winded, fancy sentence, but if you think of it literally, it means that I'm looking at the evidence as an agent to say, okay, the evidence is suggesting $1.1 million. But the reality is we're getting 1.25. Now, if you anchor yourself to that evidence too hard and go, but I can't justify it, the prices are here, you're going to miss out on property. Keep in mind that whether it be, I think it was 1.4 or 1.8% at the end of last year, we're growing per month. Average that over 3 months, then around 4.5, 5.5, whatever it is percent, the market has grown since the evidence was released. So automatically add on 5%, in my opinion. I don't do it with my appraisals as such because, again, it's not a known quantity, but it's an experience thing. But add on 5% and be ready to add another 5 to 10% on top of that, depending on how fierce the competition gets, because that's just what I'm seeing out there in the market. And again, other than statistics that come in later to prove that, there's nothing I can tell you today other than maybe identifying individual sales that I've done to show that. But last year I said, maybe in a video, I can't remember, that I'm really interested to see the stats that come out for December and November, because the likelihood is that the median price is going to jump in from that evidence into the new year. And I've already seen that with the stats that we're looking at for different suburbs, where you see the suburb average might be 750,000 in December, in 2023 as a whole, and then the average price jumps up to 780,000 in January for when they did the calculations on the last day of December. So that's coming true, I guess. So keep that in mind when you're looking at prices. It is a little bit hard. Hopefully you've worked with the agent to work out how they're going to run the game. Play the game, try and get as much information as you can. So when you are putting your final offer in, you'll know you're, competing, and your offer is at a level that is likely to be considered above the others. Also, that they know that your finances is in order, that you're an easy buyer to work with, you're great to work with. Hopefully, you've got some heartstrings going, and you're just the ideal buyer at the end of the day for that property. And hopefully, they take that into consideration for you. Now, the final point I want to cover off on is off-market sales, because that's a big thing at the moment. For a while, they were happening quite regularly, but I need you to understand something about off-market sales. There is very, very rarely an ideal situation or a situation where it's ideal for a seller to take an off-market sale, because 99 times out of 100, they're going to achieve much more by going to the open market. Now, you can obviously allude to them, hey guys, you don't have to pay for marketing. But if they've spent $3,000 or $4,000 on marketing, I can guarantee they're probably going to pull an extra $15,000 or $20,000 if they go to the open market versus getting an off-market, price. So you just need to understand that whilst you're pushing for off-market, you need to understand that it's not in the seller's best interest most of the time, and it's the agents. If anything, it's almost becoming a bone of contention. It's like, oh mate, look, I'd love to, but I can't. And if you're pushing for it all the time, when you call up, they're like, oh no, he's calling me again to get that one off market. I can't do it. So instead, again, back to dialogue. You want to say something along the lines of, do you have any, as the buyer to the agent, do you have any potential sellers that would appreciate, a premium price and lots of flexibility, that maybe don't have the money to invest in more, the cash flow for marketing, that would be an advantage if they took an off-market sale? I think that's probably a good way of saying. There's probably a better way of saying that. I did have something written down. Let me find it. Here we go. So this is what I wrote down. I'm just going to do this. It doesn't all have to be off the cuff. Do you have any potential sellers that would benefit from an off-market sale with huge flexibility on times or conditions? Also, I want to be clear, I'm happy to pay a premium for the property as I understand if they were to go to the market, they would achieve it, and I don't want them to feel robbed of their potential return. I'm just trying to secure a home fairly. There you go. That's some dialogue to use. Play it back, try and memorize it. But ultimately what you're trying to do is acknowledge that if you're going to buy, like the old school mentality of buying off market is to save money. The second we get wind that someone's trying to take a property off market to try and get it at a discount, you're gone. Like, we're working our sellers' best interests. We're not going to entertain that because we know it's going to put our sellers at a disadvantage. Instead, if you say to them, look, if you communicate to them that you are willing to basically pay a premium, like a known premium above what their appraisal was or where they think it's going to land, and offer them huge flexibility, and to do it because it's going to suit the potential seller and give them an advantage, the agent's going to take you more seriously. And the chances are there's a seller on their books that maybe he doesn't have the cash flow for marketing, or they're a bit stuck, or maybe they need 6 months for settlement, but they're too scared to bring it to the open market and expose themselves and their property to then get a sale and potentially not buy anything. So instead, maybe you have an offer crafted that gives them 6 months to secure another property. And there's some terms and conditions worked out in there that's fair for both parties and allows them to go shopping with confidence without having to go to the open market. It unlocks a sale for the agent, so they get another sale on the books without having to go to the open market, and it gives the seller some confidence, and it gives you a property that you can secure. But guys, there's a bunch of tips to help buying in Perth in property. Please know, the process is still going to suck. It's still going to be super, super hard. And I'm not saying that any of this is going to make it easy. But if you give this more attention than anyone else, you're going to put yourself at an advantage. And hopefully that helps you secure your next place. Guys, thanks for listening. My name's Jeremy Shirazi, your friend in the Perth property business. Any questions, ask them below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these points. If you have any other points that you've had success with, please share them with everyone else as a community. We're all here to help each other. And guys, I look forward to seeing you next time. Peace.